Hey everybody, welcome to the first wrestling episode of the Clads podcast. This is going to be the portion where I talk about wrestling and everything. This is the first episode of it. So today's topic is going to be about did AEW once again prove that it is better than WWE with storytelling, wrestling, the development of characters. With this latest pay-per-view, AEW Revolution with their pay-per-view. Let's look at the key elements of that pay-per-view. So we had uh, Dustin Rhodes versus Jake Hager. That was a hard hitting match. Of course, we saw Jake Hager win. He sold good for Dustin Rhodes, but he also showed his dominance as they were portraying him to be an undefeated MMA fighter and all that stuff. I know that he only had one fight and he's 1-0, but he's still undefeated, right? So that was a good match. And then they had the tag team match between the elite. So basically, it was Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks, and that was a good tag team wrestling bout right there. Like everybody hit their spots perfect. You could tell that the chemistry was all there. Being best friends for years, that chemistry just comes natural. It comes like a reflex, an automatic reflex, and I think they really did a good job. What we saw. Well, of course, we saw. Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega retain their titles and everything, and you can still see that dissension in between there, especially at the end when Page didn't want to celebrate with them. He put the belt down, and then he looked like he was finna do something. So that was a good little tease there. That was a good little tease, and I'm waiting. I think it's still gonna be a surprise, even though we all know it's coming. It's still gonna be a surprise when he does turn on Kenny Omega, but it's gonna be fun to watch. So. Another part of it was Orange Cassidy versus Pac. I like Orange Cassidy's character, the nonchalant, the chill, all that stuff. Like, he'll give you light little kicks like he's doing damage. But it also showed that, hey, he can wrestle, he can hit with that. You can see him doing moves and everything. A lot of them, a lot of his stuff is usually like counter moves, but he still can show you his moveset. He's still athletic. And he's also the older brother of Jake Hager. Like, come on now. At first, I didn't know that, but then, when people were talking about it and I seen it, I was like, oh, okay, they do look alike. And it's weird because Orange Cassidy is actually older than Hager. And I thought he would have been younger, but, it is what it is. And, with that match going on, the best friends try to intervene and help Orange Cassidy win. The Lucha Brothers came in, Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. kind of, took out the opposition of the best friends, so that made that, really, really good as well. Another portion that they had on there, another bout was the women's bout. I like that. It's actually showcasing the women's talent and everything. So that was good. That was good to see. That was good to see. Who else was on there? What other, before we get to the main event, there was two main events for me, actually. Like, the other one, the first main event was MJF versus Cody Rhodes. Now, that one right there, that was pretty good. Cody Rhodes got the new neck tattoo and everything. You can tell that they actually really are still good friends in real life. Like, the chemistry is just way right there. Like, it was good. And the way that it played out with MJF like bleeding and everything, I was like, okay, that was I wouldn't have put that in for the first bout. Maybe maybe a tiebreaker bout. But it was good to see. It was good to see, and I think the right person did win with MGF. Like, getting some underhanded tactics and winning that way. Hit him with the diamond ring that he had, and so that's a good way to keep the storyline going and keep the diamond ring still in effect in that. Another match before that, though, and I completely forgot. I'm sorry about that. Don't hurt me, y'all. Nah, it was Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara. I like Sammy Guevara. That's a talented dude right there. But they keep making him lose, and I don't like that. Like, you built him up to be, you call him the Spanish guy, and you build him up to be this, like, great fighter and everything, but then you have him lose, like, almost every single week. I'm just like, man, I was like, you can't be doing that. But against Darby Allin, who's, like, stock is skyrocketing, he's showing you that, hey, I'm been in this game for a while, but I'm not slowing down. I like his face paint. The half skeleton and a half face. So his little skater gimmick and everything. He's just being himself. That's what he's doing. And that's what I think wrestling should be. Is like, hey, we can give you a character, but we also want you to put your own spin onto it. So that was always good to see with that. Another, the actual main event between John Moxley and Chris Jericho. Man, Moxley is probably one of my favorite wrestlers today. Yeah, like don't like nothing to Chris Jericho. Back in 2000, going up. He did everything that he was supposed to. But I think AEW is the better fit for him because he's not the one to like hold his tongue or anything. He's gonna say what's on his mind. He's gonna keep it real. And the same thing with Moxley. I don't think WWE used him right. They used him pretty good when he was in the Shield. Being the crazy lunatic guy. But then they kind of watered it down. I get it, PG era, you gotta kind of water it down and all that stuff. But they wouldn't let him be creative, and that's my main thing with AEW versus WWE. AEW is like letting the wrestlers be creative. They're like, look, you put your own spin on your character. We can, you take a character that you build on the indie scene and you bring it over here and you keep going with that. And versus WWE is like they give you a character, it's scripted. You almost have to say the script word for word, unless you're like the top tier, wrestlers who know how to ad lib and make it feel real, make it feel good. And that's one thing that I like about AEW better than WWE. Now, don't get me wrong, like I watch them all. Like NXT versus AEW, those are the two main shows that I watch right there. But yeah, so like I said, that's one of my favorites right there. Um, I don't know with WWE, man. You seen what they did with that Saudi Arabia show, man? Like you took the belt off the Fiend. Come on now, off of the charismatic character that Bray Wyatt built with the Fiend. You built him up. He looked so unstoppable, and then you took it off of him to give it to Goldberg. I like Goldberg. Don't get me wrong, but this is a young man's game right now. Not a, Vince is still living in the past. He still wants to bring all these legends so he can make money. I get it. But you're gonna have Bill Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. Both of them are gonna get booed. Both of them are gonna get booed because they would have been satisfied to see the Fiend versus Roman Reigns. I would have been satisfied to see it. But when you took it off, I was just like, you know what? I can't watch it. I probably won't be watching, Raw or SmackDown because of that. And I'll still watch NXT because, Triple H knows what he's doing, and I can't wait for him to take the reins off of Vince McMahon for all of the WWE because I think he's going to bring back pro wrestling and, like, storytelling at its finest, But with all that, I think AEW just proved once again with this pay-per-view that they are better than WWE. Like in terms of wrestling and storytelling and character development, it's not always just like, oh, we're gonna do interviews, oh, it's gonna be segments half of the show. They're still only going 2 hours. They don't need 3 hours to do it. I think Raw should go back to 2 hours. Because even with the 3 hours, I was like, okay, 3 hours, we're gonna showcase like every wrestler that's on the Raw brand. No. About an hour and a half, about half of the show is about the main, feud that's going on. Like, come on now. Like, the problem with WWE is that they like their part-timers a lot. That's the thing. A part-timer wants to wrestle. I get it. Cool. Let them wrestle, has a bit of excitement. Gives it a surprise element to it. But don't take the belt off of the hottest thing going in your company right now with the Fiend. To give it to an older guy so you can make money off of a spear versus a spear. That's not the way you do it. No. And but what I do like about WWE is that they are building up Drew McIntyre finally. Because when he came back, I was like, look, I like this guy. I don't care whether he's a heel or a good guy, a heel or a babyface. Just let the man wrestle. That's all he wants to do. Just let him wrestle. And so that's one thing that I do like about that. Another thing about WWE that kind of gets me is that you had the championship on Brock Lesnar like all the time. He's a part timer. I'm surprised he hasn't broken Ric Flair's original record. Because Ric Flair had more than 16 title reigns, but they only count the 16 in WWE. So I'm surprised he ain't had 20 title reigns yet. But But what I like about the WrestleMania that's coming in is gonna be, my main one that I'm gonna watch is Undertaker versus AJ Styles and John Cena versus The Fiend, because I already know John Cena's gonna put him over. Undertaker's gonna put over AJ Styles. Even though I kind of want the Undertaker to win, I think they're gonna give it to AJ Styles. AJ Styles has been, I think, been on a losing streak in WrestleMania, so they're gonna give it to him. And Undertaker's gonna have them 3 losses, even though they shouldn't have given them 3 losses. I understand that the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, are buddy buddy and all that stuff, but nah, I don't know. Nah, they should have just kept him undefeated, because then it adds to the, mythical aura of the Undertaker. And it was, they could have did that with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's character development, like, you can give him any character and he's gonna make it look fantastic. And I wish, part of me wishes that he would leave WWE and go just to AEW, to be honest, but keep like that dark cult leader gimmick with him, because he's good at it. He is really good at it. And I just think with AEW, they give their wrestlers creative control, versus WWE, it's like, no, you got to do it this way. You do anything without our permission, then it's gonna go, somewhere else. So, so that's one thing that I wish that they would actually do, is that give their wrestlers like creative control over their character. Just say, give them little points here and there, and just let them know that hey, we're gonna give you this, but ad lib what you want to make it seem real, so the audience can be engaged. The audience don't want to see the same thing after every single program. I mean, I know some things has to get recycled. I understand that there's so many things that you can just do as far as storytelling goes, but I think there's a lot, like, minds inside of the business, inside of that company, to say, hey, we shouldn't be doing, we shouldn't be doing this. We should be doing it like this, this, and this. And what I like about Raw is that Paul Heyman is in control. Paul Heyman will let his wrestlers have the, creative control over their characters, about, how they want to do it, where they want to go. Paul Heyman is the exact mind for this. And I wish, that, part of me says, if Triple H takes over WWE, after Vince McMahon retires or lets go of it, then have Paul Heyman run NXT. I would like to see that. I'm not saying it's going to be, I don't want it to be an exact replica of ECW, but no, just let NXT keep doing this thing, because they proved that, hey, we're a third brand on here. We're not a developmental brand like everybody thought. I mean, yeah, there's younger talent that's coming in and developing, but we also know how to put on a good show as well. And then, NXT has been moving up. So we got NXT here in the U.S. NXT is already in the UK. Now they're thinking of building one in Japan. Like, you get that globalness out there, and your company is gonna keep on rising. But I just think they just need a refresher. I think is really all that they need. Versus AEW is still brand new. Like, still, well, not really brand new, but it's still new to, like, a lot of fans. A lot of fans that only watch WWE because that was only it. TNA was good for a good while, but then, they started going down the WCW route, and it was like, nah. So hopefully, AEW, I want to see continue to improve. I like watching them. Their wrestling is fantastic. I love good wrestling. And with WWE, I just want to see a little bit of more freedom. I know it's kind of hard with PG and sponsorships and all that stuff, but just a little bit of more freedom. I'm not saying go back to 90s Attitude Era, but, go, give a little bit of elements here and there, give a little bit of the Ruthless Aggression eras here and there. And with that, I think it's going to be okay. But like I said, in my opinion, I think AEW is better than WWE right now. I mean, everybody's going to have their opinions about it. That's just mine. I would definitely like to hear y'all thoughts on, or your opinions on, wrestling in there. So this is going to be the end of this episode. I thank you for listening to me go on and on and on about wrestling for about, 14 and a half, 15 minutes. And make sure to look for my first video on the regular class podcast of when we talk about everyday things. Now, I'm going to try to do it maybe sometime this week, or maybe next Saturday. and hopefully have like my friends here, have my brothers. I know that, like I said, we're recording off of a phone right now, so the sound quality isn't gonna be good. But maybe we'll go into the kitchen where I have actually a round table and I can set up my camera, my phone, and maybe it'll be better sound in there. Who knows? But y'all look forward to that. Like I said, subscribe, like, comment, share, do what you need to do. I just want to get this channel going and everything. And like I said, thank you for tuning in to the first episode, our first wrestling episode of the Class Podcast. So thank y'all, and y'all have a good day.